Hello, New Rochelle. This is Superintendent Jonathan Raymond. Welcome to another edition of What Matters Most. We are taping today at Trinity Elementary School, where everything you do matters. I've got a special guest in studio today, but before that, some good news. Congratulations to senior wrestler captain DeAndre Woods on a successful season. He scored second place at the New Rochelle Shoreline Tournament and second place at sectionals. Congratulations to the New Rochelle High School robotics team on placing 22nd out of 50 in their recent VEX competition. Keep up the great work. Ready for some fun facts? Did you know that there are 34.7 million U.S. residents with Irish ancestry? That number is more than 7 times the population of Ireland itself. And did you know that it wasn't until 1965 that all women could legally vote? And finally, did you know that by reading just 20 minutes a day, you will actually read up to 1.8 million words in 1 year? Wow. Did you know that, Mariana?
No, that's a lot.
I didn't. And it's so great to have a special guest in studio today, Mariana Husafai. It's so wonderful to have you here. You have a great story to tell, your work with the city of New Rochelle, your involvement in the community, and particularly with a group called Mujeres. Yes. And we're so proud and happy to have you on our show.
Thank you.
We've been looking forward to this day. I know I have. You're a New Rochelle resident. You work for the city of New Rochelle. You helped to start and run an organization called Mujeres, so we'll get a little bit into that. But let's start by talking a little bit, tell us a little bit about your background, how you came to New Rochelle, your work in the city, and then, of course, your work with Mujeres.
So I live in New Rochelle. I have lived here for about 9 years. I used to live in the Bronx and work in nonprofit organizations and community organizing for many years and advocacy. Mujeres in New Rochelle was, the city of New Rochelle. Right. My work in the city is as the business liaison for the city of New Rochelle. So I work with the businesses and I help them get information, do their grand openings, like the fun stuff.
Right, holiday market, for instance.
Yes,
right.
Part of that.
Huge success.
And my organization started because of a school district need, actually. When my son entered the pre-K lottery and all that fun stuff that happens and the first interaction that you get with the school district felt a bit not equal for like the Hispanic mothers back in that day. And I took it up on myself to just help them figure that process out. And now, of course, like through the years, the district has done an amazing job in trying to support the families in a way that make more sense. Right. And basically that's it.
Yeah, and we so appreciate that partnership because you're always willing to not only point out, right, where do we need to grow, where do we need to get better, but then you're always, and I want to say underscore always, willing to help out. And the first with the offers of support, help, I can bring volunteers. So, that's huge because the partnership between a school district and its communities, its families, its guardians, its caregivers, we're all here for our children.
Yes.
And we all have to work together, which is, I know why you wanted to come onto the show. And you wanted to really, I think, emphasize and talk a little bit about PTAs and, to get involved, to encourage folks to get involved in their PTAs, to be part of that partnership. Do you want to speak to that?
Yes, so the PTA is the vehicle. I see it always as the vehicle where people can actually do things for their school community and they can actually fix whatever they don't like or they are in disagreement of the school. That's one, but the other is to bring culture, bring collaboration, bring energy, excitement, and all these things that sometimes we think that a school is so rigorous and just a place for education, but we have to remember that not all school educators and not administrators, sometimes they don't interact directly with all the community as we do, and we can bring that as PTAs.
Right, and PTAs working together.
Yes.
I know one of the things that I wanted to see, and we did that last year with the holiday market, was to get all of our PTAs to come together to raise the visibility of our school district to accentuate the good, right?
Yes, it's very important that also all PTAs collaborate because, as we know, there's schools like I think the PTAs are really great when we are in the early stages of education. When you're K through 6, you get the parents are so excited, but then when you get to the middle school and the high school, that's not really the case, and kids are still kids.
Right.
But that time, and parents want certain things for their children, and they are able to do it. So. I see the need of people stepping up a little bit into these spaces.
Right, right.
It is not a burden. I know that a lot of people think that being a PTA is just too much, but there's roles for everybody.
Right,
The executive roles are very important, but they're also collaborative roles where you can bring ideas. Or if you see yourself, like I'm going to talk again about the vending machine, that's a great thing, and that could be just one change of one person within the PTA.
Right. And I know another good example is the PTA here supported Sabrina's murals to be able to really, I think, further transform the culture and the feel when you walk into this school, as well as they have done at other schools. That's just another example. And I know examples of where PTAs can work and help support other PTAs. So you're right. It's not only about how do I help my school where my child is, but how do I help other schools? Because my child's going to hopefully move, right, from elementary, middle, into the high school. And we need that parent involvement and support at all of our schools.
And not be afraid to do it.
Right.
Also, like as PTAs, like, we need to be welcoming, and we need to create spaces where everybody can have a voice as well.
Right.
Sometimes I see it in my Mujeres group that people want to do things, but they feel like, oh, well, what if I don't speak the language? What if I don't have the ideas, or I don't know how to execute certain ideas? And just know that PTAs, when they're big, they have a lot of knowledge, and even if you don't speak the language, someone else will be, and someone else can help you to get through that idea that you want to bring, that it could make a success for your child.
That's right. That's right. In fact, you know what? Speaking of the language part, do you want to share a little bit of this message in Spanish?
Okay. All right. So let me switch my brain because
Sí. Habla español poquito. Sí.
Bueno, una de las cosas que a mí me gustaría mucho ver es a todas las familias que participen en los PTAs, que tomen unas posiciones importantes dentro de los PTAs para que esto pueda ser un esfuerzo para todas las personas y que exista, que no tengan miedo o no tengan pendiente de que sus ideas son diferentes a las que realmente ya han pasado dentro del PTA, sino que sean ideas frescas, ideas que reflejen lo que las personas son, no una reflexión de lo que ya existe antes.
Sí, sí, gracias, gracias. I think one of the things I most appreciate about you, Mariana, is you've always focused on how do we lift up the positive, how can we do more, and how do we come together as a community. And in my short time in New Rochelle, one of the things I have learned is there's such tremendous pride in the community. People love New Rochelle. There's a lot of good that happens here, but oftentimes those stories aren't being lifted up. They're not being told. And I think when a community comes together and it lifts itself up, it lifts up our children, and it lets our children know that there isn't anything they can't do. We believe in you, we care about you, we support you, we're going to push you, and we love you. And that's a critical, important message that you always are talking about.
I believe in New Rochelle, and I believe in the school district. I offer always my support, because if we don't offer support, we are just throwing our little grain of salt into an empty sack. You have to be able to carry your grain of salt with you and actually get it through. Not everybody can live in our minds and get things done by just listening to an idea. We have to take it up on ourselves, and we have to motivate others to do the same. And not any entity is perfect, and everybody has bad things, good things, but if we focus on the good things, maybe we can move forward faster than focusing on the negative and stay stuck.
That's right.
And our children deserve that, deserve to see the positive, deserve to see their parents, see their culture, see their language, see arts, see all these things. And, PTAs can drive that.
Yeah, no question about it. Thank you so much for your positive message, for all you do, for us here in the community, for all you do for New Rochelle, and I've appreciated our relationship and our friendship. So
Thank you, me too.
thank you for being on our show today.
Thank you.
It's great. There we have it, New Rochelle, another great edition of What Matters Most. Stay tuned for our next show. We're going to have some exciting guests with a really important message. Until then, stay well, New Rochelle.